What if I told you you're not bad, you're not broken, and you are whole just the way you are? In shamanism, we don't see people as good or bad. We look at everything as an energy, as in a flow. We look at it as if you are either in harmony with the universe or in disharmony with the universe. And how you can kind of tell when you are in harmony or disharmony. For a long time, and in many New Age teachings, I was taught that there is a positive and there is a negative energy. Yes, we learn that in basic science classes, and we learn that when we move more towards our spiritual path, right? Where we are told this is a positive experience for me. I want to move more to that. And whether or not this is a negative experience for me, I do not want to move towards that, right? I don't want to be involved towards that. And when studying to be a shaman, I had to throw kind of that thinking out the window. Because, in a sense, when we look at positive and negative, we can kind of attribute that to being good or being bad, right? And we can kind of look at this in our world today, like maybe global leaders. We can see them as being good or being bad. You know what I mean? So we can now look at it as are people in harmony with themselves in the universe, or are they in disharmony? So, what does it kind of feel like when you are in harmony? What does it mean that I'm feeling good? Well, number one, I would say that you become into a flow state. Everything is just effortlessly kind of flowing through your life. You are meant to be here, right now, right? It just makes sense. And it seems like everything it was very synchronistic to kind of get you to that point, right? And your manifestations are just kind of flowing to you effortlessly. And life just seems really easy and almost peaceful, right? Or it is peaceful and very calm. You feel very grounded. You feel connected to everyone around you, to Mother Earth, to Father Sky, right? And you just feel that everything is just where it's meant to be in this time, in this place. And you have a very strong intuition, right? You dive deep into that inner wisdom within yourself. You feel it so strongly, and you know to just trust yourself, right? And you can act from a place of love rather than fear. So that's kind of how I check of whether or not I am in harmony or disharmony. Another really good thing for me to know that I'm in harmony is I feel very much in my power. I just have a strong sense of who I am authentically, who my higher self is, who I am at a deep soul level. And I feel like nobody could kind of come in and take that away from me because it's not like a strong sense of identity. Because remember, we want to let go of identity and the story that kind of comes with that. But what it is just a strong sense of knowing who you are in this universe and that you are a force to not be reckoned with and that you know who you are at a deep soul level. And so we can have the opposite, right? And if you felt in harmony before, doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel really great? Doesn't it feel like you everything is just effortless for you? And even like when you go out in public, it's like no traffic. The service at the restaurant is quicker. People are saying hi to you on the streets. It's just beautiful. Like animals are kind of coming up to you, and it's great. So, how do we kind of know we are in disharmony, right? We can see that as a few different ways. Maybe a lot of chaos is kind of showing up in your life right now, a little bit of upheaval. And it keeps showing you these patterns that are coming up for you. And you have such resistance to things. Like you feel like you're up against a wall, for example, right? There's really nowhere for you to go. And you just feel like, what is going on here? Why am I having so much resistance to change? Why is this kind of happening in my life, right? And it can kind of put us in a confused state and more of a victimhood, because we need to reframe and we need to take a step back and say, you know what? I am acting like a victim in my life and things seem to be in disharmony. Maybe I don't need to be in this situation anymore. Maybe I don't need to be in this relationship anymore. And you're met with this chaotic, resistant energy that you keep coming up against time and time again. And it's really interesting, especially with patterns, that we can begin to see disharmony coming into our lives, right? For example, most recently, I have met up with the resistance and chaotic feeling of feeling unworthy. And I just want to show everybody that I can be in my power as well. You know, I preach this on my channel, but yet we are human and we can meet this time and time again, right? It's just how you respond to it this time, right? Are we moving through the pattern? And so for me, the deep rooted pattern of unworthiness comes up. And I feel like a lot of times it's just teaching me how to move through it and how to step more into my power. I felt unworthy. There was a situation that came up and no names were even named. I don't even know if they were even thinking about me. And they said that some people here in a space that I'm in might not proceed until the next step. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, they meant me. I had a mistake that happened to me the previous week. Although I'm not blaming anybody, there was a miscommunication between me and a partner where I assumed that the partner had taken the necessary steps to be prepared for a situation. It didn't happen. I didn't reassure that. That's what happens, right? And I felt like, what am I doing in this work? And I felt completely unworthy in that moment. And so I was in disharmony and I felt it. It just felt so heavy and it felt this resistance came up and it said, quit now. Don't continue doing this. It's like a class. Don't continue doing the class anymore. There's no point. You're not going to even proceed to the next step. They don't want you. And I realized that that was a lot of story I was telling myself. And it was a lot of deep rooted fear and a pattern that comes up time and time again, that comes up from my childhood of being told that. And I'm telling you this story to let you know that a lot of times we can get lodged back into disharmony, but it's what we do about it to swing the pendulum back up to come into harmony with ourselves. So I did what any shaman would do, and I consulted my guides and I meditated about it. And I went deep within and I did the exercises that I needed to do. And you want to know what? I came out on the other side feeling better, feeling stronger. So, what are those practices for you when you realize that maybe you're in disharmony? How do you swing yourself being back into harmony? Are you grounding yourself? Are we meditating, taking an Epsom salt bath? What does it kind of look like for you? You know, Are we journaling about it and asking ourselves, where are we out of alignment with our truth? Are we living as a true, powerful co-creator in our truth, in alignment, where everything flows to us naturally? Another great exercise that I've taught, right, is that we cut the cords and we call our energy back to ourselves. Even if you sit in meditation, you can begin to call that energy back to yourself and claim it as yours. Any person, place, thing, situation, you no longer have power over me. I claim back my power now. And that can be really, really empowering for you. And I think another really great thing too, as well, is participating in maybe some type of ritual, right? Whether you do some type of clearing, um, maybe some Florida water, and right now I'm not really about the sage and Palo Santo, as that is being exposed right now in the United States and South America. So, what does that kind of look like for you? So, next time that this kind of comes up for you, I don't want you to think of it as, what is wrong with me? Am I a bad person? Am I just a victim of my situation? I want you to pause. I want you to reflect. I want you to come back to yourself. And I want you to say, am I in harmony or am I in disharmony with the situation? When you get your clear answer, then you can begin to move the steps and move the needle to get you right back in to harmony where you are meant to be. I hope this video was helpful, my friends. Take care.